Okay, so we're talking pop art here, and this is probably my favorite project to do in all 3 years of the middle school. So pop art stands for popular arts, and it was an art form in the 60s and 70s created by a guy named Andy Warhol. And Andy Warhol made it famous because he took things from pop culture, things that were popular amongst everybody at that time or even to himself, and he created artwork out of it, and it was very controversial. So what you guys are going to be doing is this. I want you to pick something that is uniquely popular to you. I don't want something that's popular to everybody. I know it's popular to everybody. Everybody does. Okay, but I want to know what's uniquely popular to you. Okay, and this is an important phase of the project, just picking a really good, creative, topic, so that it's a little bit different than everybody else's. You can observe the wall of fame that's above the whiteboard. Take a moment and look at all those prints that are up there, and they really look, a lot of them are really visually dynamic to look at. They're not just a simple word or just like a couple lines. A lot of them are pretty complicated imagery, and I want you to find something that's pretty interesting or pretty challenging to you, and hopefully you find something pretty unique too. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. This is written up on the whiteboard. I'd like you guys to kind of go through these categories and maybe try and narrow some of these some ideas down from these categories. For instance, movies and TV. For movies, I picked John Wick and The Sandlot. For video games, my favorite video game of all time is Resident Evil, so I'm gonna try and maybe find something from maybe like one of the original Resident Evil artwork. Books, okay? I'm reading the book right now. Actually, it's right over here, Scythe, okay? And this has a really cool cover to it. It would be a really neat print right there. Or Children of Blood and Bone, that's another one that I know you guys read. TV, I said Survivor, I watched that, and Face Off. Face Off's another one that I'm currently working on. I printed out a picture like this of the TV show Face Off, which is a special effects TV show, and I'm in the process of copying that down and tracing that through on the light board, and doing that image. Okay, some other ones from sports teams, logos and mascots are really good for sports team. Music, okay, if you're gonna do music, do like the album cover, the album artwork. I might look up 21 Pilots artwork or 21 Pilots illustrations or 21 Pilots band shirts, because a lot of times the logos that they put on shirts for their concerts are really, really cool, and they're even better than what you'd find for their album artwork. Okay, we're not really doing people for this project. You want to kind of come up with a brand or a logo, something of that nature. You can do characters as well. That's all good. Okay, food, drink, snack, and candy. Tons of stuff out there. Back when I was in middle school, I used to drink this. It was called High C Ecto Cooler, and it had a picture of like Slimer from Ghostbusters on it. So I thought that would be kind of cool. It's like a throwback. So this could be something that was from your childhood. It does not have to be something that's popular to you right now. Okay, Capri Sun, I thought was a cool one. I loved Mike and Ike's, the candy. Pop-Tarts was another thing I loved growing up. And Eggo Waffles. I thought those were all kind of cool logos. Restaurants and fast food. Okay, instead of just doing like the McDonald's arch, maybe you do like a character like Grimace or the Hamburglar or Ronald McDonald. Restaurant logos sometimes are kind of cool. Maybe like Buffalo Wild Wings logo. Toys and games. Okay, Operation, Hungry Hippos, Battleship. Board games are always good too. Someone did Uno last marking period. It was a really cool print, one of my favorites that got up on the Wall of Fame. Comic books, heroes and villains, not just heroes. A lot of people forget about the villains out there too, so give the villains some love. Thanos is obviously a big one now. A couple ones from the X-Men I had, Cyclops and Gambit, Magneto. Cartoon characters, Scooby-Doo was my favorite growing up. Favorite movie growing up was The Iron Giant, so I used both of those. Clothing brand stores, sometimes those are hit or miss because a lot of times they're just a word, and we do not want to do just a word. It has to have some imagery accompanying it. And you can kind of be creative how you do that. You can get the word, print out the word, trace the word right up here, and then find some other images that you find separately and put them underneath there. Okay, game shows, Press Your Luck is an amazing game show. If you don't know what it is, you should look it up. It's hilarious. And obviously apps and technology, you guys are gonna know plenty of those out there too. But make sure that's something kind of interesting to look at, not just a word or a simple, Instagram might be just like a little bit too simple possibly. You can do up to 2 different blocks too. When we carve these out on blocks like this, okay, you can do up to 2 different blocks. Some people even do 3. Okay, so when you search, okay, you're gonna search whatever the keyword is and art, or the keyword and illustration, or the keyword and logo. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna bring this out here like this, and I'm going to sign in. Okay, so let's see if we can see this here. All right, yes, here we go. So I'm looking at, I did the Sandlot. I thought the Sandlot was gonna be an awesome idea. It's never been up there. It's not up on the wall. I don't have any Sandlot up on the wall. I'd love some Sandlot up on the wall. So I looked up Sandlot illustration. I actually looked up Sandlot artwork first, and I didn't really find anything. That I really loved. There was a lot of really good images in there, but I didn't find anything I really loved. So there was a couple cool ones in here, but I tried that second keyword. You can even just try Sandlot sometimes, or Sandlot logo sometimes works, but I tried illustration, and I found like 3 that I really liked on this. Okay, so a lot of these, that's way too much to do. I'm gonna try and do something that's maybe not quite that complicated, but I do really like that idea there. You got the Great Hambino right here. That's a good one. I thought this one was cool. It was an illustration of Squints and Wendy Peppercorn right there. But then I found this one right here, and I thought that was even better. It was the picture of the beast, and it's him. And I'm a big dog person, so I want to do an illustration of the beast. I would probably do that one, or I found one more that was just a really good one too, and it's right below here, this one. I thought this one was really cool too. So I'm gonna click on the image, okay? I'm gonna try to find the larger version of it, okay, that larger version. I'm gonna right click on the image and I'm gonna copy it. Okay, it's not letting me copy this image, so I'm gonna click on it again, see if I can copy this image. Okay, and this one is not letting me copy either. Okay, so you run into problems like that here and there. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and copy this smaller image. So we'll go to copy image. It might just be the fact that it was copyrighted and it doesn't allow you to copy it, so you can screenshot it, you can do a variety of different things. Okay, right click, and I'm gonna hit the little clipboard. There it is. Okay, so there's the image. All right, so you guys can kind of see the whole page. I'm gonna kind of zoom it out, but you guys are not gonna zoom it out. What you guys are gonna do is you're gonna take this white card and you're gonna hold it up to your computer screen, however it's formatted. If it's formatted this way, hold it up this way. If it's formatted sideways, hold it up sideways. And you're gonna hold it up to the screen, and then you're gonna enlarge the image as big as you can on there. So I have to go to this corner here and I have to pull it out until I can get this image as big as I can on this card. Once that image is as big as it can be on this card like that, you're going to print it out. Print it out to MS417, and then you're gonna trace it on the light board. Okay, now, I'm going to take one of the images that I printed out now. Okay, this is a couple images that I printed out. I had this cool one. It's like a Beauty and the Beast one that I found, which was really cool. And as you can see, the image doesn't fit all the way on there. So I was gonna be smart about this. I'm gonna take it first, and I'm gonna trace this image of the beast right here. I might not even trace, I might leave this out. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. I'm gonna trace that first up here, and then I'm gonna bring it down a little bit and trace a little bit of her and these vines right there. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of move her up into this range a little bit, so she's kind of like a little bit over here. So when I trace this, I'm just gonna kind of move it around so everything fits in there. Now you don't always have to do that. Okay, this one fit almost perfectly. When I printed this one out of Face Off, and it's this person getting like special effects makeup put all over them. They're turning into like half bird and half human. Okay, it fits almost perfect. It's a little bit smaller, but it needs to be as big on this card as possible. But don't stretch it out so the image is all contorted or like very blurry, or the image is stretched like so this person would be like a lot wider than they normally be. Always pull your image out from the corner when you're enlarging it. So I did that, and I did a basic outline drawing of it on the light board. Okay, it took me a decent amount of time. You have to be incredibly precise and careful when you do this. I'd recommend using a mechanical pencil if possible because it gets like very fine points. Okay, so I have that done. All right, after that's done, I'm going to show you another one I had here. I did a whole bunch of them because it's fun. Okay, this is another one I did. This was Lion-O from the Thundercats, a cartoon that I watched when I was growing up. Okay, you can see it doesn't quite fit all the way on there, so I'm just gonna leave some of this area out. Like I decided, like I'm just gonna crop a little bit this area off, and I'm just gonna use that. Okay, so that's fine. So to do that, I traced it all up. Now you gotta shade it in. Now you need to shade in either 100% or 0%. There's no middle values. Okay, everything that's super dark on here, you're not going to carve out. Okay, this is your block. Okay, everything that's white on there, you are going to carve out. Okay, everything that's black on there, you are not going to carve out. And everything that's white on there, you are going to carve out. So it needs to be either 100% darkness or 0% darkness. And then when I say darkness, I mean dark. Okay, so when you're shading this in, and I already applied this one, I already applied this image to this block of linoleum right here. I already applied it, so it's a little faded, so I'm reshading it in because I'm going to stamp it down again. Okay, so you guys are going to take your piece of paper and you're going to shade in either 100% darkness or 0%, not at all. And you can see this image, there's 100% here, there's maybe like, I'd say it's like a 40% here, a 0% there. I just decided to make this 0%. Instead of shading that in really lightly, I just decided to make it 0%. And you have to make those calls sometimes. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just going to be really straightforward and easy. It's either black or white. Okay, and there's my Batman. I want you guys to do a series of, I'd like to see 3 different ones from you, okay? 3 different ones. So when I come back early the following week, we're going to get one of these 3 or 2 of these 3 onto linoleum blocks for carving. Okay, so I'd like to see you do a series of 2 or even 3 of these if you have time, and we will pick the best one, the one that you did the best job on to start carving out when I get back. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Do a really good job on this, and you know, I'm really excited to see what ideas you have. Don't be afraid to shoot them by me. Miss Bramley can always text me, and I'll tell you what I think. All right, see you guys.